Happy birthday, Mr. President. For real. I'm Michael SMERCONISH in Philadelphia. Like so many of us, President Joe Biden marked the turn of another year with an annual physical, which for him took place yesterday at Walter Reed Hospital. But his had historical significance. Remember, Biden ran by promising transparency on the health issue. And this was his first physical in office as the oldest first-term president in U.S. history. Now we have a report on the results, the first extensive update that we've received on his medical health since December of 2019. Dr. Kevin O'Connor has been working with Biden since he was vice president and says of his patient, quote, President Biden remains a healthy, vigorous 78-year-old male who is fit to successfully execute the duties of the presidency. Of course, today, the president is turning 79. The White House and his party probably breathed sighs of relief because of recent polling on this issue that I'll get into in a moment. In the report, the doctor noted that Biden, quote, has experienced increasing frequency and severity of throat clearing and coughing during speaking engagements, which the doctor says was possibly worsened by a mild hiatal hernia. And that the president, quote, his ambulatory gait is perceptibly stiffer and less fluid than it was a year or so ago, which the doctor attributes in part to arthritis of his spine and normal wear and tear damage of someone his age. The New York Times coverage of Biden's physical this morning includes this sentence. Dr. O'Connor did not say in his report whether Mr. Biden underwent cognitive testing, which many doctors recommend for older adults. The report is a return to the norm of what we used to learn from presidential physicals, before his predecessor, that is. You may remember when then-candidate Trump was running against Hillary Clinton in December of 2015, his campaign released a most unusual doctor's letter from this individual, physician Harold Bornstein, which claimed, if elected, Mr. Trump, I can state unequivocally, will be the healthiest individual ever elected to the presidency. Years later, Bornstein revealed the letter had been dictated by Trump. Who knew? We have only recently learned that President Trump's November 2019 trip to Walter Reed, which then White House Press Secretary Stephanie Grisham said was, quote, to begin portions of a routine physical exam, was actually for a colonoscopy. Biden had a colonoscopy yesterday, temporarily and historically transferring power to Vice President Kamala Harris for 85 minutes. Trump's colonoscopy only came to light recently in Grisham's tell-all book, in which she writes that Trump kept the visit private because he did not want then Vice President Mike Pence to be in power while he was sedated and, quote, did not want to be the butt of a joke on late-night television. Well, President Biden has recently been the butt of late-night television joking about his advancing age. Here's a sketch from Saturday Night Live a few weeks ago with multiple Bidens at different ages.
How can you be me? You seem so happy, so carefree. So, what's the word I'm looking for?
Lucid.
Kidding aside, the White House must be hoping the new physical results halt and reverse a trend identified by a new Politico Morning Consult poll. It found a huge leap in concern around the issue of the president's physical and mental capacities. Only 40% of voters surveyed agreed with the statement that Biden is in good health, while 50% disagreed. That represents a massive 29-point swing since that question was asked in October of 2020, when voters believed that Biden was in good health, 53-34%. Asked if he is mentally fit for the job, 46% say yes, 48% say no. But again, that's a big change from last October, when those numbers were 56-35%. And perhaps most concerning to the administration, results among independents. We'd expect Trump voters to be inclined to find Biden lacking and Democrats inclined to support him. But among independents asked if he's in good health, 31% they say they strongly or somewhat agree, 54% say they somewhat or strongly disagree. That's a gap of 23 percentage points. And this survey is not an outlier. A recent Harvard-Harris poll found that only 47% of all voters thought Biden mentally fit enough for the job. 58% felt that he's too old to be president. I should also say this, to those who find such conversation today to be in poor taste, need I remind you that in October of the first year of Donald Trump's presidency, 27 psychiatrists and mental health experts who had never examined Trump nevertheless wrote a book called The Dangerous Case of Donald Trump, warning that his mental state, quote, presents a clear and present danger to our nation and individual well-being. And throughout his term, there were many discussions in the media about his unfitness for office, as well as countless petitions, including one signed in December of 2019 by 350 psychiatrists and other mental health professionals claiming that his mental health was deteriorating rapidly amid impeachment proceedings. So sometimes analysis of a president's health is warranted. Time to see how you responded to the survey question this week at SMERCONISH.com. Will Joe Biden seek re-election in 2024? He says yes. What do you say? Survey says 69% of 15,000 and change. Let's call it 70-30. Do not expect that he will run for re-election in 2024. Interesting. Social media. There's a ton this week. Let's see what we've got. Pardon me, you are not getting any younger either, dude. Why are you picking on Joe? I know. When I started this gig 8 years ago on CNN, I think I had some hair. I'm not sure. It's true. The answer to your question, though, is I'm not picking on Joe. I pray for Joe's health, well-being, and success. But got to talk about the facts of the day, and the facts of the day are that he had a physical yesterday amidst poor polling and a huge swing in the perception of Americans in terms of his physical and mental capacities. How can I ignore that issue? If Donald Trump were the president, you'd be saying, why aren't you talking about Trump? Next.